Well, very good morning. If you've just tuned in, we are coming to you live from SABC News Studios. In fact, we bring you crisscross coverage from around the country, all around the globe. As you can see live on your screens right now, visuals at the Vatican. Those are live visuals as thousands, hundreds of thousands are expected to make their way to the Vatican to pay their last respects as the funeral of the late Pope Francis, of course, is underway. It is set to start at around 10 a.m. Rome time. And, we are just looking at his life and times and the impact that he's had during his papacy. We know that that funeral, as it speaks, involves security operations in Rome on a mammoth scale. This is world leaders and even just the most vulnerable refugees are set to descend and to come together to reflect on his life and times, the impact that he's had. And we've been chatting to Father Martin Badenhorst here, right here in studio, as well as SABC News International Editor. They've been reflecting on his early life, perhaps also him as a leader, some criticizing him for being too involved in geopolitical issues, others saying that not enough was done. But what one cannot deny is the impact that he has and will continue to have, given the church reformation and just some of the other measures that he had a key interest and focus on during his papacy. So let's continue to reflect on his life and times now. We've prepared a special fact sheet for you just to reflect on, his life, the timeline as well. Let's take a look. We know that he was Argentine. So Argentine Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio, he was elected the Roman Catholic Church's 266th Pope on the 13th of March back in 2013. He's a leader of 1.3 billion Roman Catholics. Of course, at the age of 88, he passed away on Easter Monday, 21st of April. So let's take a look at some of the timelines that we've now prepared. As we mentioned, 266th Pope on the 13th of March, 2013. We obviously know that he was the first pontiff from Latin America. He also became the first from the Southern Hemisphere. And he was also the first to take the name Francis. As we continue to reflect, he was born in Buenos Aires. This is in Argentina back in 1936 on the 17th of December. It was also mentioned earlier by Father Martin Badenhorst that he was the son of Italian immigrants. This really also influenced his stance on social justice issues and immigration that, of course, continue to affect this modern globalized world. We saw one of his first visits, in fact, revolved around, looking into the issues of immigration as well. But as we continue now, we also know that in terms of protocol proceedings, really what's expected to come following his passing, we do know that mourning will last for up to 9 days. That's known as Novendel, where Italy declares a period of national mourning. India also declared 3 days of national mourning. We've seen, other world leaders also stopping their international activity, their working visits, their state visits, perhaps to come and pay homage at his funeral that is taking place at the Vatican. The Argentine cardinal, really was the first non-European elected in 1,300 years, and his impact will be greatly felt. We're looking at some of the reformations as well that he was a proud advocate for. His relationship, as it was also mentioned, bridge building, looking at how he was able to, work with the marginalized. He denounced a life of luxury, of course, to live a simple life. And this is also going to be reflected in his funeral processions that will be taking place today. He's going to be buried at St. Mary's Major. That's not at, the Basilica, but it's obviously big enough for a pope of his leadership and stature to be laid to rest. And so perhaps as we also continue, we also saw that his body will be blessed, dressed in papal vestments, exhibited in St. Peter's Basilica for public viewing. That concluded yesterday. And there will now be, the official funeral. We know that the streets, once his body will be transported from the Vatican into St. Mary's Major, that, procession is going to be taking place at a walking pace. The Vatican coming out to say that this is to also accommodate those with disabilities because, that was what the Pope believed in. And so As we continue to pay respects, I just want to round up this timeline now that had been prepared. As mentioned, St. Peter's Square, that's where it's going to be taking place. And, we obviously, it's going to be led by the Dean of the College of Cardinals, currently 91-year-old Italian Giovanni Battista Re. So as we leave that there, thank you very much for making us your channel of choice. We are going to be continuing to bring you that rolling coverage. Now let's go back to our live visuals at the Vatican at this hour, where we're going to reflect on his life and times. We can see that from early this morning, from our coverage today, thousands of people set to make their way, of course, to pay homage to Pope Francis. Jorge Mario Bergoglio, who was from Argentina, the first pope in Latin America. We're also going to be speaking to, those who obviously were influenced by his life and times. We'll reflect on the impact that he's also had on the continent and really what this means in this geopolitical landscape that, of course, is shifting. That funeral is set to take place at 10 a.m. Rome time. Royals, international dignitaries, cardinals, bishops, religious leaders, and ordinary citizens are going to be coming out to pay their last respects. Let's leave it there for now. We'll take a quick ad break. We'll continue after this. We're right back at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.